Guys, I just got back from a week-long trip and I'm just kind of in a mood to reset my life, get a lot of stuff re-put together as I get back into going back to work and just getting into my normal schedule again. And I realized that I really haven't read that much this year so far and I need to be reading more. So I'm going to go over what I have read, what I'm currently reading, and what I will be reading. Yeah, and my thoughts on those various books. So my currently reads at the moment, my main one is I am working on Keeper of the Lost Cities Exile, which is the second book in the series of Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. I've already read this before. It's a reread. I have the last, 2 books of the series so far I haven't read yet, and I wanted to just kind of re-familiarize myself with the series and kind of re-fall in love with it because I kind of stopped caring. I've said kind of a lot. Ew. I stopped caring about it a bit when I wasn't reading it as much, and as I got older and just had more focus on other books. So I'm trying to remember that I do enjoy this series and I do like the characters and I do care about it, about what happens. And I'm doing that by rereading it. And I've gone through the first one. I'm at the second one. I'm pretty far in. I'm 424 pages in. This guy right here. So we just have this little bit left. As for Jesus books, I've got Hind's Feet and High Places allegory that I'm still working on. Not very far in, but I want to get back into regularly reading a chapter every single, not chapter. I've been reading a page every single day. It has a little devotional after every single page, which is really nice. And so I usually read one, and then if I'm particularly enjoying it, I'll keep reading multiple ones at one time. Okay, and then as for manga, I'm still working my way through Demon Slayer. I think I'm on the 7th one. It could be 6. It's either 6 or 7. This is number 8. I just don't have 6 or 7 with me here because I don't own them. My roommates do, so I need to borrow them from them. But I own number 8 because it has my beautiful Rengoku on it. I love Rengoku. I've watched the show up through the 8th one, up through, I used to think it goes to the 8th. I don't know when the train arc ends, but yeah, that's all I have to say. I can't spoil things. I keep forgetting that I really do like Demon Slayer. It's so good. It has really good characters. I wish it went into the characters a little bit more. And I'm really excited to get through as it kind of cycles through the different Hashira and getting to see their stories, because I really want to see also this little man, because I barely even know him and I'm already in love with him. I remember saying Gyu? Why can't I remember this? It starts with a G. I could be wrong on that. If I'm wrong, put one of those little black screens that's she was. Guillaume? Yes! That's good. That's it. That's totally it, right? I love him too. Then I have a whole bunch of Up Next books, which technically are also current reads. I've started them. They've just gotten, backpiled because I have an excessive amount of books that I'm in the middle of right now. Hold on. That's the little rascal that's been oh so politely interrupting my video with all her squeak, 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 squeak. We have Winged Feather Saga book number 1, On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. I love this show, you guys. I watched I think first two seasons that they have on Angel Studios, and it's so good. I really like the particular animation. I know some people won't like that kind of animation. I really like the art. I think it's really pretty. And it's definitely a kid's show, but It's very cute, and just like it has like Christian themes, and it's just very creative and adventure-y, and it's super fun. I like it a lot, and I really want to read the books and see how they compare, because they seem to be pretty popular series, and I'm excited. So I hate that, like, I think it was spoiled by something, by the new covers that they have. That's a little disappointing, but it's okay. I highly recommend watching the TV show if you have access to Angel Studios. Well, sometimes you can watch it for free too, but it's super cute. It's so good. It's just got cute little characters and everything. Oh, Pete, I love Pete. Next up, we have Impossible Creatures by Catherine Rundell. She's one of my favorite authors. She wrote my favorite book, Rooftoppers. Love that book. I can gush about that another time. And just look at this beautiful, beautiful cover with a little dragon and kids and the blue edges, and it's got like maps and things in the back. It's so sick. It's got like little like character charts. Well, not character, sorry, creature, like animal and mythical beings. I'm really excited. Her books are really good. Again, it's a little bit of a lower like grade level, but I love her writing. And this is, I don't know a ton about the book going in other than it has a bunch of magical creatures. I mean, it's called Impossible Creatures. It's about two kids going on an adventure with said magical creatures. What could be better? It's fun. It's colorful. I love her prose. I'm excited. And I want to be reading more things by her since I've only ever read Rooftoppers and Wolfwilder, both of which are really good. Next in the running, we've got Break to You by Neil Shusterman, my top favorite author, actually. This is a book about two high schoolers, I believe, that are in juvie, and they're separated. Like it's a boys and girls prison, but like they're separated, like they never interact. But they begin writing to each other inside of a notebook, which is a trope that I really love. And talking to each other through that notebook. That I don't know too much else with it. I forgot to say, this one I've only like a few pages in. I haven't really started much. Impossible Creatures, I'm like a chapter in. Break to You, I am on page 102, chapter 10. So right here, I still have all this left to go. I like it so far. My only issue with it is that it is definitely two high schoolers talking in the language of two high schoolers, and it's just not necessarily something I relate to that much anymore, and so it's a little weird. And not like it's totally fine, like that's realistic and stuff. But it's definitely weird switching from like reading this, which is like really wholesome, more of a kid's, more kind of Narnia-esque, to high schoolers swearing and making kind of, dirty jokes sometimes, which there's more to this book, obviously, than that. There's much more. It's a weird tone switch that I have to get used to, and I'm not in the mood for that right now. So, I don't know when he's actually, he should be a little bit further back in the running, but he's not, so, yeah. But I am excited. I think it's going to be really good. I really do like the trope of the two people that don't see each other, but they're writing back and forth through the notebook, like in Dash and Lily, which I have not read the books, but there is a TV show. Dash and Lily is a Christmas romance. It's very cute. Babel, very popular book. You've probably seen it several places before. I'm doing a buddy read with this. My roommates and I, Savannah-Rose, and then we have a third roommate that is reading it with us. I'm not super far in. I need to be a lot further. We were supposed to finish this several months ago, and it's been a hard one to finish. Life got really crazy for a while, and so just reading wasn't happening, and then it's just a long book. Not just because it's kind of more like a wordy and it's more of an adult like language, but I don't know, just because the setting and the way the prose is, it's very academic, I guess, which makes sense. They're at Oxford, like Oxford, Harvard. Wait, yes, it's Oxford. Yes, they're at Oxford, and it has a really cool magic system. I've had a really hard time connecting to the characters of this book. It's a really well-written book. I respect it for that, but I am not invested. I don't care about any of the characters. it doesn't feel like I'm getting to know them very well. Like, it's just, I don't know, there's no reason for me to like any of them. And I know it's a popular book, but it's not my cup of tea so far. Like, I'm definitely gonna finish it, and I want to see where it goes. Yeah. Out of the Silent Planet, which is book 1 in the C.S. Lewis trilogy that I did not know existed for a very long time. He's written other things that aren't Narnia or nonfiction theological. He's written a sci-fi trilogy for adults. And I did not know this existed until I was looking through, like, I don't know, fantasy sci-fi section at Barnes & Noble. Young adult section, I think that's what it was, yeah. And I went, C.S. Lewis, huh? Yeah, C.S. Lewis. I'm 62 pages in. It's very short, but it's also definitely one that takes a long time just because it's kind of a heavy read and it's got, you know, a lot smaller letters. I'm also not necessarily super invested in this. I think it's definitely, there's going to be more that I'm going to like with it as we get in, hopefully. And I'm enjoying reading it, and like I'm very, very curious. It sparks a lot of curiosity as to where it's going and what he's going to do with it. I will say, for the fact that I'm almost halfway through, it doesn't really feel like that much has happened. So, sorry, C.S. Lewis. We're still getting acclimated to this book. So essentially it's about a man that gets abducted and taken to another planet. His particular adventures on that planet with the different creatures there. So he gets abducted so he can be a sacrifice. Whee! I'm a sacrifice. This Present Darkness by Frank E. Peretti. It's one that my mom recommended to me years ago, and I started reading it. Actually, I think I started reading the second book accidentally. I don't know how I did that. I'm not totally sure what genre this qualifies under, but it is about spiritual warfare, and it's about, like, it's set in this small town, and it basically does the thing where it has a bunch of different characters with very different backgrounds, and they come together. A lot of stuff is spiritual warfare and the importance of spiritual warfare and the reality of it, and the importance of prayer in fighting the devil. And yeah, so I know it's one that it's actually really fun because I got these copies from my mom, and there's this whole big note in here for my mom, because my mom got this book as a gift from a friend that she had, I think, in high school. This was an 18th birthday present for my mom. And there's a whole big note from her friend talking about how this book helped her in her own faith and relationship, and just gave her a lot to think about and really focus on. It's just really cool. I love having the in there for it, and that's really fun. I've been tabbing this one with, like, quotes. So it's already doing really good with quotes. I do like the writing. It's definitely, I read a lot of younger grade books and a lot of young adult and not adult novels. And this one's definitely more of an adult novel, which I don't read much of. So it's a weird tone switch. So it's a bit heavier of a read, and it's one I have to definitely, like, sit down and actually focus on and be able to read for a longer chunk of time so that I can get into it. But I'm very excited to read this, particularly just because I know that my mom recommended. Next up, we have The Illusion of Fear by Paris Kaufman. This is an indie author that I know from Writergram on Instagram, and I know that Savannah-Rose really loves her books. This is the second one in the Magi trilogy. I am on page 114. I'm very excited to see where this goes. I really love the characters, and I'm really excited once I can get the money when I can buy my own copies. This is Savannah-Rose's copy. I own the third book, but I don't own the first two. So yeah, it's got a lot of fun characters for being, like, an indie book. It's definitely pretty well written, and I like the characters. I'm super excited to read this one. This one's a really funny one because Savannah-Rose has all her tabs in it, and so she'll tab something that she thinks is funny, and then I see that she's tabbed in. I don't think that thing is funny. And that is really funny. The fact, the whole just comparison of it, and seeing where she tabs things that I wouldn't, and then seeing things that I totally would tab that she hasn't. And I'm like, why wouldn't you tab that? It was great. But I'm very excited. I definitely recommend it, especially because it supports an indie author. That is Paris Kaufman, and the Magi series This is Illusion of Fear is the first one. Does the first one have a name that's not yeah, the first one is just the Magi. Kids, magical powers, going on adventures. I'll leave it at that. Next up, we have The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. Yeah. And this is another buddy read, also along with Babel, that I'm doing with the roommates. I like this one a lot more than Babel. I am on page 254 right now. It is so much fun. It's Nazi Germany told from the perspective of death personified, about various characters going through different things, and about books and a girl that likes books and is learning to read. So I'm very excited to see how stuff ends. I know that this is just probably going to hurt because it's Nazi Germany, so it's definitely gonna have some fun stuff, but I'm excited for it. I shouldn't be excited for sad things to happen, but I'm excited. I know it's one that a lot of people have read and that I'm excited to also finish reading it, and that way I can watch the movie because I've heard it's a pretty good adaptation. Savannah-Rose hates when I say adaptation. Yeah, Juniper is all paid out, but she's here now with us. Hi. Okay. Next, Moby Dick, by Herman Melville. It's about a whale. What more is there to say? It's Moby Dick. And then we've got The Book of Stolen Dreams. Thank you, Juniper, by David Farr. Two kids on the run with a magical book. Vibes. It's great. So far, I'm somewhere in the middle of this. There's no bookmark, so I don't know where. Everlost by Neil Shusterman, another Neil Shusterman one. I've been really, really wanting to read this one to help give me ideas, because there's a lot of parallels with this book and the book that I'm currently writing also, in the sense that it's very different, plot and what happens, but in the same setting of these kids that are stuck between life and death, kind of. They're in a little limbo. My grandmother asked me to tell you she's sorry by Frederick Buckman. I came very close to finishing this book, and then I put it down, and I didn't finish it, and I need to restart it because I have restarted it once or twice, and I haven't finished it. It is a very good book, and it does not deserve this, because I love it. I would literally list it under my favorite books, and I don't even know the ending. Little girl, grandmother, trauma, a lot of... It's set in the real world, but it feels very magical because the grandmother and her granddaughter have this kind of magical world story that they've come up with, and it's referenced a lot in the book because it's from the perspective of a 7-8-year-old, and so because it has that kind of childlike view and perspective to it, it gives it a very magical feeling and very good. The writing is just it's just incredible. So we have The Forgotten Road by Richard Paul Evans, one of my other favorite authors, potentially my second favorite author. It's one of the trilogy that I'm working on. This is book 2, I believe, in what's the first book called? The Broken Road. It's The Broken Road, The Forgotten Road, and The Road Home. It's about a man that is rich, has everything you can imagine, and then he gets the chance to start his life over, and he goes kind of on this little journey down the original Route 66. I really like it. I really want to see how it ends up and where it goes, and I really love the trope of a bunch of people and different things coming together, but I also really like the trope of you have one person, one main character, and he's seen a lot of different kind of people and interacting with them, but it's very almost kind of isolated, but in a good way. I really like it. It makes me, I really would love to do, if I ever wrote something nonfiction, I would love to go along the Pacific Crest Trail, Route 66, any other sort of big long trail, and I would probably I would love to take like a super long time and like bike it or something. That'd be crazy. But even just driving it. But I would love to take a trip like that for like just months and then write a book that's a compilation of all the different things from all the different people that I meet along the way. And I think that'd be really fun. Next up is All Better Now. It is another Neil Schusterman book. I mentioned this in our past video. Happiness is a Disease. Yeah. Legend and Lattes. It's cozy fantasy. They open a coffee shop in the middle of classic fantasy world building. I'm excited to read it. It's very much kind of like a more fall book. So it's a lot later down the line probably is my guess for when I'm going to read it. Either that or I'm going to be sitting in a coffee shop reading it because duh. Spineless Kids. It's a beachy, like they're on an island, like maybe kind of piratey. There's a curse. There's a hotel with a curse, Hotel California. He discovers a whole new species. It's when you wish upon a star. What if the blue fairy wasn't supposed to help Pinocchio? Nura and the Immortal Palace. Kids working in caves. Magic palace. The American Girl. A Molly mystery. Catch a Thief. That is everything. I mean, technically 2/3 of the books that I own are upcoming reads. Upcoming when? Who knows? I reread the first Keeper of Lost Cities book. It was good. It was really good just getting back into the series and really reacquainting myself with the characters and the fact that I do care about them and their story and that I like them. A lot of fun. It's falling apart. The back cover is like on my shelf over here because it fell off, and this one's it was a very well-loved book when I read it in middle school. So I listened to the audiobook of The Story That Cannot Be Told by Casper Kramer, and it's about a girl in communist Romania, which is not one that you see as much, I feel like. And so that was a lot of fun. It was kind of an interesting one. One of those ones where I don't really know how to rate it. So I liked it, but I also mildly didn't care, but I also really liked it. I also read Spy Family Volume 13. That was a lot of fun. I always love Spy Family. It's just so much fun. I love it. I really liked a lot of the stuff at the beginning with the first couple chapters that was going on. I'm very excited for the next one. Very much so. I feel like we're getting closer to things, but also at the same time not. I really want so bad. I'm so excited for things to go down because you've got a marriage of convenience between a man who's a spy and a woman who is an assassin, and they have a daughter who is a telepath, and the parents don't know each other's secret identities. Like, they don't know that they're a spy and an assassin, but the telepath knows because she can read their minds. And they also have a dog, and so it's just such a cute little dynamic. It's really cute. It's super fun. You can never not like Spy Family. I'll always recommend it. It's definitely episodic to an extent, but I like episodic. So I also read a library book called No Exit by Taylor Adams. I think I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. I really liked it. It really kind of was nice for getting me, like, a lot of the time I'll find and be like, oh, look, this book looks good. This book looks good at the library, and I get a lot of books and then I don't read a lot of them. Especially if they're full novels that I don't know any previous information about. But I started reading this one and it was pretty fast paced, kind of jumps right in, and it had the murder mystery without a murder vibes that I really enjoy, I've discovered. But basically you have a girl that gets stuck driving over a mountain pass in a snowstorm trying to get home. That is all I have for you guys today. If you particularly enjoy listening to people talk in the background while you're doing stuff, maybe. The books that I just haven't really read, but I want to. There's quite a few of them. I just finally cataloged books I own, which I haven't done in a while, and I have a solid 370 books. That includes picture books and some doubles. But yeah, that's all I've got. We'll see how well it turns out and if I can get back into reading a little bit more. My time management is not the greatest, and I am in a period of trying to make it better and find more time to read, but we're gonna see how it goes with trying to read a little bit more at work, because I usually try and do that on my breaks. So we're gonna do that. Juniper's gonna go to sleep.
No, you can't eat my Demon Slayer characters.
We'll see how I will do with reading for the rest of this year. I hope your guys' reading is going so good so far for this year. If you have any particular book recommendations for me to add to my never-ending TBR, feel free to put those in the comments. I will add them to the long list, should I feel so inclined. All right. Juniper, say goodbye. Juniper, say goodbye. That's not... Say goodbye! And cut.